Hello there. I believe you are blessed wherever you are all over the world, regardless of the color of the skin, tribe, or nation. Right, I would love to say blessed week in advance all over the world. Yes, we are in table conference. I know you may be having problems. Jesus is the answer. Our theme today, we want to talk about prophecies that God has been saying. We just picked the only 5 of them. Why as people are being persecuted here they are being persecuted in South Africa. I need you to take you back, because if we don't speak the mind of God, we are not gonna know what is the cause. I remember 2014. It was 19 February, before the xenophobic attack that year happened. People, when I said it, people, they never took it serious until the confusion started happening. I believe it was the xenophobic attack that killed a lot of people and displaced a lot of people. But when it was starting, police, they were refusing that it was a xenophobic attack. They were saying it's just a group of criminals. But a lot of Nigerians, I remember there were Nigerians that were shot and killed in Kempton Park. There are people where a lot of things happened. Shops were vandalized until other people came out at the news. They say no, it's xenophobic. There is nothing that happened under the sun we can say God didn't know. God knows everything. So I needed to take you to that video. We hear what God is saying. We hear, then we check what happened later. Then you will know what is where is the confusion coming from. Because now we are seeing the confusion is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The hate between Africans is growing and growing and growing. That's what is happening. Right, I want you to take it to this video before I explain, so that you may know what is the cause of everything. Because people, they say when things they happen, no, God didn't see it. Prophets of nowadays, they prophesy when things they've happened. They come and say, this will happen, or this happened because of this. Now, I said it 2014, it was 19 February 2014. The xenophobic attack happened 2015, after a year or so. So I needed to check the video and check how I was, and you will know that it was a spirit. It is a spirit again. But this spirit was affecting, politicians. They are the ones that politicians are taking advantage of everything. But there is nothing that can happen under the sun. As Prophet Amos says in Amos 3 in verse 6, can anything happen if God did agree? The prophet is saying no. All right, let me take you to this video so that you may understand where we are coming from, so that we may talk. I need you to come and zoom the video and bring it closer. Right? We'll zoom the video and bring it closer to you. You zoom it against even with your phone.
There's a new, but the police are convinced the new crime was a random
Right, I believe you hear there what you saw what happened. It was a year after this xenophobic happened. But on 2014 February, I said I saw fire. This fire starting from this down generation, go away you. I saw this fire starting. And I saw this fire growing and growing and growing and growing in this town. I was talking about Johannesburg. Then it ended up affecting a lot of places. And we pray. And I say, I saw poor people fuming. That's the thing that we're supposed to quote. I say, I saw poor people fuming. That was the cause only. So I want to go and explain what is the cause of all this chaos. It is politics. If you check now, I was talking to other people, they were asking me why Zim people are the ones who are targeted too much when it comes to foreigners in South Africa. I said no, it is a politics game. That's the only card that they are carrying now. Remember when politicians, they enter in power, they promise people a lot of things. When they fail to deliver, they must find a card that they can play. Unfortunately, the card that they can play is this card of a foreign thing. But God, He said in 2014 that I'm saying there, I saw a lot of poor people fuming. So the cause is they failed to deliver what they promised people. That's how politics they work. They work. If they fail to deliver what they've promised people, they have to keep people busy with something. So unfortunately, this is the card that they picked here, xenophobic. I remember a lot of people died in Durban, and a lot of churches and a lot of businesses were burnt. That's the time a lot of businesses were burnt. I remember one of my brother from Nigeria, he lost a lot of cars that were burnt in one day. More than 50 cars were burnt in his garage, and other cars, they were not insured. Those people, they became broke. Then I remember when he was talking to me, say, man of God, where do we get this such hate as black brothers against one another? I said, no, the confusion is politics. Politicians, when they fail to pick the right card, they find anything that they can do. And politicians, the number that votes them is coming from poor people. So whatsoever poor people they can raise, as long as they want to vote, they take it, they make it a point. So this thing has been prolonging. If you check here from 2014, I will take you back. What happened, I was talking to one of the guy, he's one of the top in these laws. He said to me, man of God, I said, no, check what happened, the issue. The issue doesn't start here. The issue goes as big. He was saying, why is Zim people there? I said, no, the problem was Mugabe. Mugabe was educated, but not intelligent. That's the main important thing. Mugabe was educated, but not what? Intelligent. I want to explain. There's difference between education and intelligence. That's why Solomon, no matter, do you know that Solomon, he went to school? Because you can't King David can't be a king and have all that wisdom. Then his son, Solomon, you find that he didn't go to school. Meaning that Solomon, he went to school. Right. But when God, he comes to Solomon now, he say, you, in Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 1, ask anything, I shall give it to you. Solomon, he comes and say, Lord, give me what? Give me wisdom. Why did you cry for wisdom, overseer? Why did he cry for wisdom? He cried for wisdom because God, he knew that his education wasn't enough. Same applies to Mugabe. I said to other people, If Mugabe was educated as people they were coming, he was gonna see the time to let it go before he destroy and vandalize many people. By that time, it was Mugabe and Mbeki. They were in power. Mbeki was a friend of Mugabe. Mbeki was a little bit educated, not educated enough than Mugabe, but Mbeki was wise. So Mbeki knew what he was doing. They were supposed to advise him that it's time, 2000, it's time, you let it what? You let it go. Then they advised him, you have to hang on. When you hang on, we'll defend you. Then, by that time, they were not scattered all over. I don't believe that even Zim people, they were men in all countries, in diaspora. But because of Mbeki, he knew what he was doing. Mbeki, he knew. They knew, they were aware what were sanctions and what sanctions were going to do to Zim, one with the other. But they pretended like everything is in order. Remember Mbeki, by that time, he refused to say there is crisis in Zim. He said, no, everything, all is well. Until the pressure overseas. That's when he changed the statement. He said, no, things are bad that time. But everything was already wrong. So, the problem that you are seeing, I remember there is this guy that they banned, they call him, in deep slot, they call him what? They banned, they call him, I've forgotten. They banned him. He died for 300 rand or so. So this hate was started by people who needed service, people who needed things from the government. But because now they cannot go to the government direct, they have to take their anger somewhere. That's why here I said, I saw fire. Small fire starting in this town, going up until it became what? Big fire. Then it started spreading and affecting other towns. Then here, if you listen, I say, poor people, I saw poor people fuming. Meaning there is nothing that is tangible. This hate, I want to learn, I need you to learn something. Hate is something that you can learn from anyone. You can adopt it. But love, you cannot adopt love. That's how confusion it is. You can adopt hate now and hate people with passion, but you cannot adopt love. I said to someone one day after this xenophobic, I said, Mbeki is responsible of this. Zim wasn't going to go down if Mbeki was a true friend of Mugabe. Because that man was already old. He knew that what he was doing, it was against the will of people. But they pretended as ANC that they will back him. The same ANC again that is persecuting the same people that they went and against their will. So I was explaining, I said, the tension is here. ANC won't sit well with a Zim issue because they know they are the part of it. Look now what is happening in courts. Court has told a Minister of Home Affairs, this is wrong. First time. He went and did appeal. They replied again. They said, this is what? This is wrong. He goes again. Now he say, I will go to Supreme Court and hear and do an appeal. This thing is personal now. It's no longer applying the law. It is a personal issue. Why? They are going to elections 2024. You have to have a card in politics. Which card are you going to use for people to listen to you, for people to vote for you? That's the issue here. Xenophobic attack that started from only hatred. If you check here, the issue is not because Zim people, they have created a scene than other tribes in SA or whatever. It is hate that was just started by one individual. We may not know who started this hatred, but what we know, here God say it was a hate that spreaded from what? From poor people. But look, how many years now? From 2015, how many years? It's 8 years. So it's changing gear and gear and gear all the time, gear and gear all the time. Now they can even not stop it. Right. Remember what I said last season. I said there is a tension between the government of Zim and this current ruling party of Ramaphosa. But these elections of Zim now joined these people now. There is no tension anymore. But before that, there was a tension. That's why you see they were not visiting one another. They were not talking to each other. But after these elections, you saw them together. A month ago, they were together again. So now it shows that the relationship is mended. Here it was few individuals, 2014, who started this. It was the work of the devil. Devil started this and made people to look, one tribe to look bad. And people, they adopted it. That's the only thing that is happening here. That's the only thing. That's why you see him in the Minister of Home Affairs. He continue persisting no matter they say, no, this thing is wrong. He say, no, I will go and appeal. This thing. There is no government that is above the law. Law is there to protect everyone. So no matter, that's why I say to people, don't worry those who are coming from Zim. No matter he can go wherever he go, they will deny that. Because I believe the ruling of High Court was very simple and clear. You cannot do that. But you continue because they are going to election. They must have a card that they are going to use. So that's the issue that happened in xenophobic. Xenophobic was started from hatred, from one individual or two individuals. But I will assure you, people who started this are politicians. Among ANC, they are the politicians who were members of the ANC. When I said there, I see I see poor people fuming. There were people who were in politics who started this, but it ended up spreading. Why? Because no one was having time to address it, because they know that they failed 1, 2, 3. So that's the thing that you will face now. You see this one of 2014. That's the thing that you will face until elections are over. When elections are over again, they shut it down. So it is a card that you are using to draw people's attention. Forget about what we are doing. You mind this. Continue busy doing this and making noise on this one, while you don't see what we are doing. Right. That was the prophecy of 2014. I remember there is a guy, one of my boy was telling me, a guy, they call him Douglas. He's a pastor or whatever in Zim. He wanted to be funny, say, have you ever, you people prophesied something happened? I laughed. I said, hey, this guy, he is a fool, really. that came to pass. I said they must open his profile. He's just a pastor of pictures, shooting pictures, wearing suit, sitting outside. Then I say, he thinks that knowing God and to have a relationship with God is to put a suit and sit down there. We've been doing this for a long time. We have seen God moving a might. Right, I will take you to another prophet again so that we understand the tension that we are seeing. In the prophets of, I said in October 6, 2016, I said Mugabe will die. No matter Mugabe will die, you will celebrate, in Zim people will celebrate one day. 2 days you burn your houses and your cars. When you are done celebrating, you are going to jump from the fire, from the pan to the what? To the fire. That's what I said. I said you are going to jump from the pan to the what? To the fire. It was 2016. Mugabe died when? 2019 or 2018? 2018. Yes. It was 2 years before. But no one saw it coming. Others, they come, they say, no. You said Mugabe will die. Mugabe is not dead. You are not supposed to check Mugabe's death. You have to check the scenario. Because in this video that I will play, you hear, I'm saying, God is saying, already among that party, there are already people who are planning to take over the country. What happened? Didn't they take over the country? They took over the country. So people, they were minding Mugabe will die. Mugabe will die, will celebrate. Zim diasporas, they were saying, we are going to go home. But forgetting that there is something that God said. You are going to jump from the fire, from the pan to the what? To the fire. Meaning there is nothing that will change. All right, let's play this video. Let's play this video. We hear what God is saying. Let's play this video. We hear, then I will talk after this. All right, we're waiting for the video. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that. That's the wrong video, this one. That's the wrong video. That's the wrong video. Stop it. Right, go down. Right, play this. Go up again. Play this video. All right, let's hear here. It was 6 October 2016. You forgive us about the volume. Maybe the volume won't be clear because we improve cameras every day. Right, I believe you hear what I'm saying here. I'm saying Mugabe will die. After Mugabe dies, you will celebrate. You are going to celebrate only for a while, one day. You burn your houses, you burn your cars. Then tomorrow when you wake up, you are going to find yourself that you are jumping from the pan to the fire. When you hear here I said, there are already people are planning to take over the country. But by that time it was looking like it is an impossible thing, 2016. No one can remove Mugabe. No one can take over the country. What we see, what is happening now, what we see, this hatred that we're seeing, Mugabe created this, their relationship with the ANC. You see, Mbeki doesn't talk about Mugabe in a bad way. In all his statement, he makes sure that Mugabe, he looks good. Why? Because he knows something that they never even allowed people to know. Here when I was saying Mugabe will die, but after his death, people, they will celebrate, burn their houses. I saw when Mugabe was removed removed out of office. The celebration was too much. People, it's like Moses on that Mount Nebo. Now people, they see the land, Canaan, the promised land. But already, it was 2 years here. They ignored what I said. That you are going to jump from the pan to the what? To the fire. Because there are already people who have planned to take over the what? That country. I said there are people who are planning to take over the country, but people, they were not seeing it like that. So, here we see again, Zim moving from one step in one day, going back to where it was again. Look what is happening. Who's ruling right now? The hate that we see, that we are seeing the hatred. I remember I was watching another thing on TikTok. Someone was talking about Rabbi. They put politics where it doesn't enter. Because at the end, we are the Africans. They put their politics. I say, this hatred has gone up. And it was created by only two people. Mugabe. When Mugabe wanted to rule Zim for a long time, they said divided, they don't stand. He raised the tribe thing. So that people, they continue fighting, him hanging on power. That's what that ANC now they are doing. They want people to continue fighting this foreigner thing. They forget about them. That's how politics work. You continue fighting this xenophobic thing, entertaining one another, open, they call it Operation what? Operation Dudula. Now it's no longer Dudula is a party, blah, blah. You know, you generate all those things. And all these platforms, you find them on TikTok. And that's why you find them on TikTok where they are spreading all their hate. And when you check on those things, you check that these same people, they didn't create anything or do anything to these people. It's just a hate that was created by certain individual and spread it. But if you can preach love now, few people, they will hear you and few people will adopt love. But if you preach hatred, people, they adopt hatred. That's what is happening now. People, they may wonder why targeting one nation. I remember this one white guy asked me, said, why are they targeting one nation like this? I said, no, it's hate. He said, if it is hate, then it needs prayers because you people, you are men of God. I said, we pray for it every day because we know politicians, when they start something, they don't stop. Here I'm saying Mugabe will die. After dying, there are people already who are planning to take over the country. What happened? He was removed. They celebrated people. What happened? What happened after that? Nothing changed. His vice president, he took over. Right, let's hear 8 January. 8 January 2018. We hear what God said 8 January 2018. Because when you talk, people, they think that maybe you are just prophesying yesterday or God started talking to you, are taking chances. Let's hear January 2018, what God said. I remember there were elections in Zim. And everyone was expecting the opposition party to what? To win. That was the thing. And everyone was prophesying that opposition party will what? Will win. They will be victorious. Let's hear what God said here. Can we hear what God said? 2018, before elections, 8 January 2018. Let's hear what God said here. Sorry about that. We're waiting for you. It doesn't even change here. Right, I will be talking. It was 2018 January, I said. 2018 January, I said, Zim people, they must unite. 8 January 2018. I said they must unite. Why? without unity, you cannot conquer anything. All right? That's the one. Play it. Let's hear what God is saying. Let's hear. You come and zoom the video. We bring it closer to people.
The sake of which they must stand.
I don't know what you did. Right? I need you to hear what I said here. I need you to hear what I said here. Right? Play that video. You don't touch it again. We are waiting for you. Play. Right? I'll be talking. I said Zim people, they must unite in this video. It was 8 January. I said we Zim people, they must unite. Why did I say that? Because it was God who was saying they must unite. It was God who was saying they must unite. It was 8 January 2018. Can you play that video? All right, you come and zoom it. Let's hear what God said here.
The Zimbabweans, they must unite. 1. 2. They must back this president. You will never change God's will. No matter how wise you are, you will never change God's will. It was the most that's what we prophesied about it. This man, I can say, he will be a good devil.
All right. There is something there that we need to quote. There is something that we need to quote there. I said this man will be a good what? A good devil. I say unite, Zimbabweans, they must unite. You will never change God's will. You pause it like that so that we won't strike you. I said Zimbabweans, they must unite. You will never change God's will. They must beg this current president. Because without unity, you cannot achieve anything. Then I said, this man will be a good what? A good devil. I believe many people, they've been asking, they asked me, what is a good devil? Others, they were saying, why are you calling someone a devil? I believe you have seen. Let me tell you something. Why I said you'll be a good devil. You can't be raised by someone evil. You become good. It's impossible. No matter you can be doing your goodness, you're not doing it from a good intention. You'll be trying to make people see you that you are different than your master. But at the end, you are full product of your master. So that's why here I said, this man, Zimbabweans, they must unite, beg this president. You'll never change God's will. I was talking about elections now. I said this man will be a good what? He'll be a good devil. I believe we have seen what is happening. I believe we have seen. When he entered in power, I believe he was supposed to make sure if he was ready to lead. The first thing that he was supposed to do is to make Zim people, diaspora, and the one who are inside, feel loved. I don't know which word I can use. Of feel, make them to feel valued wherever they are. You see, all Australia or all New Zealand or whatever, those countries, you touch one, they are coming after you. So that's the thing that he was supposed to do if his politics was different. That's why I was calling him, you'll be a good devil. He was supposed to enter now and say, me, I'm different. It doesn't matter wherever you are, but I want you to have value. As a leader, I will make you to have value. It was going to be easy. Even this hatred that you see now, that is this confusion that is all over about Zim, blah, 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 that this minister of Home Affairs is spreading. It wasn't going to happen. Why? Because he is the leader and the father of the house. He was going to say, no, you cannot do that to our people. You gave them that willingly. You cannot do that. They were going to listen. You understand? Why? Because at the end, they call them friends each other. Remember, they call him Figile, the general. What he said their friendship is for life. So if their friendship is for life, why are you allowing your friend to abuse your kids? Does it make sense? No, I can't be your friend. We grew up in a society, no matter in your family you're having food. Other families, they were suffering. They were telling you, you cannot love those kids that are suffering. Your own family, they will beat you. Why? Because we knew that their nakedness is our nakedness. You have to cover each other's what? Nakedness. So, if he entered in a manner whereby he wanted to clear all the confusion or to remove every tension, he was going to do that by saying, no, this, that. But he came with the tension that I want to bring everyone back to the country. It wasn't going to happen. The more you do that, you make people to be scattered all over. That's what happened. Even this tension that you see now, there is this, they call it Operation Dudula. I heard that is a party now. It wasn't going to be a party. Because nowadays, I said to someone, do you want to have followers on TikTok? He said yes. I said, talk about xenophobic attack and put Zimbabwean flag. You have followers, 10,000 in one day. Why? Because it's a hot potato. Who created this hot potato? It's politicians. They created this hot potato. He came in power. When he came in power, he was supposed to address this. So when I said he would be a good devil, I was explaining that people, they mustn't expect a lot of change or the difference between him and Mugabe. Because he was Mugabe's friend, his son, he was raised by him. He is what he is because of Mugabe. So he sat with him, they shared cookies, they shared cup of tea. So it's impossible for him to be different. He was going to wipe all this. I believe me, if he did that, even TikTok wasn't going to have a lot of many followers. Because when you check nowadays, you find on TikTok, their groups are talking about xenophobic, they are talking about this, they are talking about that. Those people, they are spreading hate speech. But they are using it in the name of followers. I want to have a lot of what? Followers, people who follows me. But at the end, this thing, it is just a hate that was started by few individuals. And I'm saying, I know, it was politicians who started this. Politicians are very good. Politicians are like a chicken that you raise it with your own bread that you're supposed to eat. It becomes bigger. You are expecting that it will lay eggs. Then tomorrow, it will hatch and multiply. Then this chicken, it lays eggs and start drinking those eggs. That's politicians. So all your bread that you're feeding that chicken, you have wasted your bread. You're dying with hunger. It's not hatching. It's drinking its own eggs. That's what happened in the political realm. So if he entered, he wasn't a good devil. He was going to have the interest of Zim people. I don't believe the confusion that we are seeing all over, blah, 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 happening. It wasn't going to happen. I know Mugabe didn't have a good heart that he can stand up and say a lot of things. He was going to defend that, why are they outside? Regardless I'm doing wrong, they are not supposed to go outside. But him, when I said he was a good devil, I was explaining to people that they mustn't expect something that is a change or something that will be different. Right, I will take you to the prophecy of 16 January 2019. 16 January 2019. Why am I doing this? I've seen that many people, we are having a lot of prophecies. We have reached more than 1 million viewers. That's not the prophecy, you stop it, this one. Can you go to the prophecy? All right, go down. Go down, you're going up. Right, I will be talking to you. In this prophecy, I said after the elections, right, you stop there and go up again. Right, you stop there. You stop there. In this prophecy, I said, Zim governments must tighten the what? The security. I remember I said they mustn't abuse people, but they must tighten the what? The security. Something that the opposition and people will plan. There will be a chaos in the country. Many people, they came, they say, why all the time prophecy that comes outside is about the opposition? No. I was trying to warn people that many people will die. Remember how people, they died 2019? How Zim army killed a lot of people. How they shot a lot of people. But when I was talking by that time, they thought that, no, you are biased now. Now it's like if there is a new president, you have changed your prophecy now. Your prophecy is going against. No, it doesn't work like that in Christianity world. Right, let's hear what God said here. We zoom it and give it to people.
The government must tighten the security. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The government must what? Tighten only the security. They must tighten only the security. They will see what I'm talking about. I don't know what details. I don't want them to say, I say, blah, 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 before things happen. But my advice is the government must tighten the security. That's what they say. They must tighten the security. Not borders, but inside. They must just tighten the security. Funny thing that people, they may try, but they are not going to know. But you hear they may try. Things that they may try to say like, many things that funny things that people, they may try, but they are not going to succeed again. So this government must just tighten the security only. Inside, not borders, but inside. They must just tighten the security, not to abuse people. I didn't say they must abuse people. I said they must tighten their security.
All right. I believe here we see what God said. When I said 16 January, Zimbabwe must tighten their own security, not the borders, but inside. When I visited Zim 3 months ago, I found that there are shops that were looted and vandalized 2019. They are no longer functioning anymore. So I was asking people, what was this? They say it was a shop. I said, what happened? They said 2019. People, they looted and burnt the shop. The problem about us, we want to tell God what God must say. That's the problem about us. We want to tell God what to say. Here I'm saying they must tighten their own security. But if you hear, I didn't say they must abuse what? They must abuse people, but they tighten the security. Why? Because God was telling me a lot of people will lose their lives. A lot of people, they will lose their life. Then after that, to reconcile, it will be harder. Because you can't shoot my brother, then later you come and say, I'm sorry. Can I forgive you? No. So prevention is better than queuing. So here I was saying they must tighten the security. You see what happened? You remember what happened? I remember when I saw this first day when one of my boys said, Papa, did you see what happened after your prophecy? I said, where? I was from the mountain. He says, Zim. I said, what? He said, check how they shot people. I saw the video. I said, no, God must have mercy. If we prayed, maybe one way or the other, things were going to be what? Be different. The problem, we ignore prayers. People, they want to hear prophecy. When you say pray, they say, praying for what? Doesn't need prayer here. As when we have prophesied, God, you must make a plan. He will see what to do. But when God gives us a mandate to pray, we have to kneel down and what? And pray as people. That thing that happened, it created a lot of distraction. When I arrived there, they were telling me, this shop, men of God, is not working. I said, why? They say, because of this. There was a big supermarket in location that was closed because we wanted bread there. When we went to buy bread, there was only bread that was being baked in a big shop, half of our church. Then I said, what is this base for? They said, no, it was a big shop here. Because of 2019, it shut it down. The owner never recovered because everything was stolen. So that's the right. I will take you to the last prophecy. Zim election 2023. I believe everyone said no. This time, again, opposition will win. But there is something that I said in a vision, the vision that I explained, that people, they ignored. I believe it's having close to 200 and something thousand. They ignored what I said when I was telling them, no, don't put your trust in the ballots. Put your trust in the Lord. When I said that, they never take it serious. They didn't take it serious. Everyone, because when everyone is expecting change, let me say, when you want to go to town, you are that eager to go and visit that place you are from, village, or wherever you are from. You want to visit this nice time, or maybe you have to go to Dubai or to America. You even dream yourself in America, in Chicago. You understand? And then you say, God has approved my journey. While you are going to drown, that aeroplane will drown before reaching America. No matter the prophecy comes and say, no, you are going to drown. You say, no, I'm not going to drown. I saw it in a vision. When did you start prophesying? No, it doesn't matter. God, he talks to me. That's the thing that made what happened to the elections 2023. Everyone was foreseeing what will happen after. But forgetting what God has said. The problem when you prophesy, you become one saying different thing. Every prophet agreeing with one thing. You become a liar. They say, this man is a liar. He doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, let me take you to this video. Let's hear what God said. It was 20 August this year, 2023. It's just fresh. Let's zoom the video.
That's something that they know what they will announce after elections. Is that correct? If I say God says this, that's a finish. I'm bringing myself down. That's what I'm saying to all things. What I say is a vision. It won't change because that's what I saw. And if I prophesy now, what's going to win right there? That's the finish. Why should I prophesy something that they know? What they will say? They know what they will say after election. So it doesn't need prophecy. What they can say is the salvation is around. Put your trust in God, not in anything.
All right, here, I believe you hear what I said. Put your trust in the what? In the Lord. Your salvation is in the what? In the Lord. Right. Why was I talking like this? I was aware what was going to happen. That's why I say, why should I prophesy? Why should I prophesy something that they know, what they will announce? But to many people, it was foolish. It was foolish. How do you know what they will announce? Because everyone was claiming victory. Everyone was claiming to be victorious. Same applies. This thing is what happened 2018. When I came 2018, I said, you will never change God's will. People, they say, no, this man, why are you running to the results? While we are going to elections in 2 days. And I said, it was only 2 days when I said, beg this man. It is the will of God for him to rule. You will never change God's will. But there is something that I ended my sentence with. You will be a good devil. Can you show me a good devil? There is nothing called good devil. Meaning that no matter his ruling, God has condemned him in many things. It's all up to him to redeem himself, but God has condemned him. And God is allowing to rule. That's why I say, you will never change God's will. Here it was 4 days or so. I say, why should I prophesy? Because these people, they already know what they will say. These elections are done. Look Sadak now. They thought that Sadak was going to change their report. They stood. So now all these elections, no matter they happened, everyone knows that these elections were not God. So I'm saying to some people, it is important when God is saying kneel down and pray. We kneel down and what? And pray. That's the problem. No matter someone is sick, come to church and say, Mama, you are going to die. You are going to develop a cancer, or you are developing a cancer that will kill you. The person will say, no, I'm waiting to see a wound. When I start seeing wound or coughing or whatever, I'll start praying. It's too late. These are the videos that I wanted to show you and to explain where's xenophobic attack or xenophobia. I don't know how you call it. Where is it coming from? It is a hate that was started 2014. It's still growing and growing. Nowadays, there is TikTok. On TikTok, everyone is a celebrity and everyone is having a platform. I said to one of my boy one day, do you want to be famous? He said, I said, take a Zim name and put it there and talk about foreigners. You wake up in the morning, 10,000 followers same time. Why? Because people, we are good in learning wrong than learning good. But if we can learn how to love one another, I still believe we're going to live in a better place. Remember America 2015. I said they must vote Donald Trump. I want to show them God is not one-sided. 2018, I said Donald Trump will win. I said while they are voting in America in the morning, results were coming tomorrow. I say he will win. What happened in few hours? He was announced a leader. This year God came to me and said he mustn't go back to the office because he will cause a what? Too much chaos. God is like that. He can put you in power. You misbehave. He removes you. But people, they don't want to admit that God can say this and tomorrow say this. I said Donald Trump was win. I believe I'm the only person who said Donald Trump will win. Many, they were not seeing Donald Trump becoming a president. I say you win this one. If we can play the prophecy, you hear me saying, I saw a red taking over. And he took over. And if you check that video, there were numbers that I saw, 8, 9, and whatever. I explained the numbers, how I saw the numbers, and I say you will read. Now God is saying you mustn't go to the what? So a prayer plays a vital role in everything that we do. I will say to you, you are listening to me. Maybe you are affected by what is happening. You are in diaspora. You know, I always tell people. I say to one of my brother, he's in Nigeria. Now he relocated. I say, listen, there is nothing that is painful than to stay far from home. Because you always miss home. That's why they say east side, northwest. Home is the what? It's the best. They were not lying. They know that gap that it comes. So I'm saying to you, I believe these prophecies, they will open your eyes and see. We don't have time. I was going to explain a lot. But I believe these prophecies, they will open your eyes. You'll understand what is xenophobic and how it started. It was a group